This is Mohandan Raghavan, and today video we are going to understand the main topic, which is async and await. If you are writing any Playwright test case, these keywords are inevitable. Most of the time we will be using this async and await. These keywords are meant for asynchronous operations. What is this asynchronous operation? Let's understand this concept via story, the tale of two kitchens. Consider there is a cafe shop in city. In this cafe, there is only one rule, one order at a time. For example, if you approach the coffee maker, he will make a coffee for you based on your order. Until he prepares, you have to wait, and also the people who are behind you also had to wait. And after completing your order, he will move to the next person. Because of this, somebody has to wait for a long time, especially if some person orders bulk order, could be multiple coffee or multiple course meal. So in that case, the people remaining or the people stand behind, they had to wait for a long time. Basically, they are blocked. Because of this, most of the customers are unhappy. But what if there was a way, especially better way, to run a restaurant to make customers happy? So that is called asynchronous operation. Whatever we have seen linear or sequential, where everyone had to wait until the previous person is completed. But there is another concept called asynchronous, where no one is blocked. Consider there is another shop which works in non-blocking way. Basically, they can handle multiple requests at the same time. How is it possible? Let's understand this example. And you also might have seen this example in so many shops and restaurants. Customer goes to the counter and asks for some item. Instead of making them wait while the order is in progress, the server hands them a small buzzer, electronic buzzer. After getting this, you can sit nearby anywhere and do your work. You can listen to your music or you can do your work, whatever you want. But this buzzer is a promise to you, a guarantee that your order will be fulfilled. Since you got your buzzer or promise, you can sit in the other place. At the same time, the server can handle other people. For example, somebody might need water or somebody needs some packed item. Since they are not blocked, they can serve other items. So this is why the system keeps moving always. No one is blocked, and also you are not blocked because you can do your own work. Once you see the green signal in your buzzer, you can reach the counter and get your order. Sometimes your order cannot be fulfilled due to different reasons. In that scenario, the buzzer will flash red so that you can understand your item is rejected. So this is a simple example about the promise concept. And most of the time when we work with browser, all the UI interactions will be in asynchronous nature. Just note that JavaScript or TypeScript wait for nothing. It looks for the action to be done. If it is taking time, it keeps them in the background and goes to the next action. So all these things are considered as a promise. Whatever we have seen so far a story, we can understand the same thing with promise also. Basically, your customer order is very equivalent to the function call or API request. The buzzer is nothing but your promise object. And whenever the background process is going on, your buzzer is idle. The same way your promise will be in pending state. At the same time, JavaScript can execute any other work. The same way they are helping other people. And whenever your order is completed, the buzzer will blink green. Same way, the promise will be in fulfilled state. You will be going to the counter and getting the burger. The same way, you will be executing the resolved output. Basically, you will be calling the then method. Sometime you cannot get your output or you cannot get your order. In that case, buzzer blinks red. Same way, promise will be in rejected state. So this is a simple understanding about the promise. As a Playwright QA, we need to understand this promise concept because all the actions that we do in Playwright will be returning the promise. Now we know whatever the actions will be in asynchronous in nature, that will be giving the promise back to us. And this promise can handle pending state. If it takes some time, it will be in the background, pending state. Let's say that action is completed, then you will be in fulfilled. Due to some reason it is failing, then you will be in rejected state. So this is a simple life of promise. Let's see this simple code example for promise. Fetch data is a mimicking function where it will return a promise object. Basically, you know that promise can return in 3 states: pending, fulfilled, rejected. We are going to fulfill this promise after 5 seconds. We may not need to understand this function implementation because we are not going to create any promise in our coding. But let's understand this fetch data returns a promise. But till 5 seconds it will be in pending state. After 5 seconds it will be resolved and the output will be data fetched successfully. Now let's handle the promise in traditional way using then and catch. Whenever your function returns a promise, then you will handle with then method, and this then method will be executed whenever your function fulfilled successfully. Basically, if it is fulfilled, your data will be given with data fetch successfully, then you are logging the same in console. But let's say sometimes it's also possible that it will be rejected. So in that scenario, your error will be captured and you are logging into the console the same. So this is the traditional way of handling any function which returns a promise. But there is another keyword which is async and await. This is the same concept but using the simple keywords async and await. Let's say the function fetch data async, and we know that this function is going to have some line which return promise. So that's the reason whenever your block of code is going to handle some asynchronous code or it is going to handle the promise, then your function should be prefixed with async, because this function will have some code to handle asynchronous operation and promise. And whenever you write async, that means the function will return promise. For example, fetch data returns a promise, but now we need to wait to complete this or to fulfill this. Basically, the then block will be replaced with await keyword. Fetch data returns a promise, but it will not move to the next line. It will wait to fulfill or to complete, then it will go to the next line. Basically, whenever you do some actions in browser, it will be asynchronous in nature. For example, let's go to the Playwright test case. You will be navigating to some example.com or some website. So this is asynchronous in nature. It may take some time, but you need to fulfill that promise. After fulfilling, you need to go to the next line. So that's the reason we are using the await keyword in front of the every Playwright command. Whenever a test is executed, it will be using asynchronous operation because all the Playwright actions over browser will be asynchronous in nature. That's why even your function, even though it is anonymous, we are mentioning the async keyword. Then once the action is completed or fulfilled, then we need to go to the next line. So that's the reason we are doing then block using keyword called await. Basically, await keywords waits promise to be fulfilled. So this is a simple understanding about async and await. Let's summarize everything what we have seen so far. We have understood the asynchronous operation via a customer journey. Basically, the order is placed and you will be given with buzzer. Basically, it is acting like a promise to you. And once your order is fulfilled, you can get your order back. At the same time, server can do other actions as well. Sometimes your order may not be fulfilled due to the different reason. That time your promise will be rejected. After that, we have seen the code example where whenever a method or function returns a promise, we can handle with then method and catch method. Then will be executed whenever your promise is fulfilled, whereas catch will be executed whenever your promise is rejected. Then we have seen another way of handling the promise using async and await keyword. Async will be the keyword whenever your function handles some asynchronous operations. And also we have noted that whenever we use await keyword, the function should be async. Then await is the keyword where it will wait for the promise to be fulfilled. And we have seen every test case that we have written in Playwright will be async await keyword. Basically, your actions will be in asynchronous in nature. That's the reason you will be using the async anonymous function, and every action that you do in Playwright will be having await, so that it waits for the promise to be fulfilled, then it moves to the next line. And this is all about this video, and always be a rainbow in others' cloud.